going on, you guys? Tyler here, and today I want to go through a little walkthrough and review of Hyperion Strings Ensemble from Soundiron. This is easily one of the best orchestral string VSTs I've ever had the pleasure to use. Really big fan of it. This plugin was 8 years in the making, so it's not like they just released this overnight and said, here's another string library. This is by far one of the most versatile string libraries I've ever used, and we'll get into why in a minute here. Now, before I actually dive in and get into the nitty-gritty, I want to discuss what this plugin actually is for anyone that's interested in buying it. So Soundiron, they recorded a chamber orchestra. You get 8 first violins, 7 second violins, 6 violas, 5 cellos, and 4 basses altogether. It's a 30-piece string ensemble. You also get tons of mic positions to choose from, including close, stage, mid, far, which I'll get into a little bit later as well. And those basically just give you more sound options to choose from. So you can really fit this string ensemble into any kind of mix that you're working on, which is great. The library overall, it includes 72 NKI presets. It's 139 gigabytes installed, so it is pretty big, and 81 gigabytes, I think, using contacts, lossless compression, but still massive. You do have to have the full version of Contact. That is one thing to note. The ensemble has tons of articulation maps, which we can see on the screen, and we'll get into the GUI in a minute here. There are tons of different seating layouts, tons of different arpeggio patterns, effects change to go through. There are also over 78 different presets to choose from, and tons of instruments over here, which you can see as well. This is one of the most realistic string libraries I've heard to date. The way in which Soundiron positioned the microphones during the capturing phase really gives you the essence of a full 30-piece string ensemble, with each section blended really nicely. Each mic position also has a unique combination of varied microphones, varied microphone models, and placement distances. So the VST, again, very, very versatile. No matter what kind of sound you're looking for with your library, you can get it. Now, let's hop into the main interface here. All right, now in here we have the main user interface, and this is going to give you all the sound shaping, layering, and articulation controls you could possibly need. This also includes 12 independently assignable articulation layers. These can be mixed, stacked, crossfaded, or key switched in real time, which is great. Master controls up here at the top. So you have the large swell knob, which is right here. Big swell knob in the middle, which is great. Body, attack, offset, release volume, and vibrato. These global controls are accessible in the top window at all times, which I love. First violin, master preset right now. This is first violin's master multi-mic. This is going to give you all the options for mic positioning here, and it is just first violins, but this is a really good preset to demo on. As you can see, there are tons of other ones over here. We can do second violins, violas, cellos, basses, and the full ensemble. Also some ambiances, which I'll get into a little bit later. There are tons of different articulations just on to choose from on any of the presets or instrument presets. As you can see here, it would take me an entire video to go through these all. Staccatos, tremolos, sustains, sforzandos, crescendos, decrescendos, anything you could possibly imagine. The sustains here are using a simulated legato and really smooth dynamic expression across the dynamic range. So from piano to mezzo forte to forte, you can get this really nice natural change between the softest and the loudest, which you can kind of hear. I'll just use the swell knob here. Very, very smooth sound right there. You also get the ability to crossfade between natural vibrato and steady non-vibrato clean layers, which is really cool using the blend slider, which is right here. So if we were to map this to our controller and then play. See how you get that sort of straight, clean sound that moves into the vibrato. Great, we can even crank the vibrato up a little bit. Very, very natural sound, which is great. Okay, now I want to quickly go through the global controls at the top here because those are going to be present on the GUI at all time, and they're actually really nice to be able to map as macros to your controller. We can just kind of quickly see how they sound. So the body control, this is going to give you a fuller, more present sound the more that you have it cranked up. So at its lowest, very, very distant sort of sound, and at its highest, it's right up front. Full, low, warm, everywhere in between. The attack and offset, they kind of work in a very similar manner. The attack is going to kind of cut off the transient of the sample, so it's going to take longer for the strings to swell in. Versus nice swell. Offset is very similar, cuts off the start of the sample and allows sample playback to skip past the beginning of the sound. Release volume, pretty self-explanatory there. And then the vibrato knob. So this is going to apply the simulated vibrato to the sound, which we already kind of got into. One thing I do really like about this plugin that I actually haven't seen on many other string plugins is this niente slider right here. So you can see that even when I am down here at the very bottom with the swell knob, I'm still getting that sound, right? It's very, very soft, but I'm still getting something. You can turn this niente slider all the way down, and I will get absolutely nothing until I bring that swell knob up. So again, more micro control, which is cool. All right, so now let's get into the different layers in articulation. So when you have an articulation selected, you can actually go into the layer window. This is the main control window for each, and you can adjust the pan position, velocity, and whatnot. Also, one of the really unique things about this VST is that they've added the, they call the X fade. I call it the crossfade parameter, and it essentially allows you to blend between different articulations in real time in a very, very expressive way without the need for any key switches, which is great if you're working with a smaller keyboard. You don't have that extended range to make key switches easily. So for example, if we're on sustains dynamic and react right now, all we'd have to do is we'd take this C1 and we'd copy that over to, let's say right here. We can change this to, let's do something that's very obvious, maybe a trill, minor second, fast trill. And then we would take this, put that to A, take this, put that to B, and that is going to initiate this little blend section over here. Now we can blend between the sustains and the trills, which is cool. I'm going to assign this to one of my knobs right here. So now when I play, we can go from a regular sustain into a trill. Come on. I mean, there are so many possibilities for this. You can go from sustain to staccato to vibrato to just about anything you want. So that's basically it for the main tab here. Let's go into the effects tab and see what we got going on. So effects tab, you get a couple basic things. Your filter right over here, great low pass, high pass filter. very soft, great if you want organic pads, I suppose. Lots of options to adjust that here. You also get your dedicated compressor and EQ controls. I have a habit of usually turning these kinds of things off and just using third-party plugins that I like. That's all up to you. You can save and load up your own presets as well, which is cool. Okay, space section. This does come, when it opens up, the default is the algorithmic reverb. I will say that I actually prefer this convolution reverb a little bit more. We can kind of hear the difference between those. Convolution reverb just has this depth to it that I really like. And beyond that, you can also move everything on this XY axis to kind of place where the strings are in the room. So right now we have everything in the center. Really, really cool feature if you're working on a mix and you want to be more exact with your placement of your strings in the stereo field. Love that. And then you also have regular controls for the reverb over here, your basic EQ, high, low pass, size, mix, all of that jazz. Lots of fun. Okay, Play Assist tab. This is great if you're not a keyboardist or if theory just really is not your jam. Cool thing with this is that you can pick a key over here, press the Play Assist button, turn that on, and it'll map that key to all the white keys on your keyboard. So if you start from, let's say we have A major selected, we'd have to start from an A, the root note of A major on our keyboard. The thing is, we wouldn't have to go up to that C sharp for the major third. We could instead go to the C natural, and it would push us up to the sharp to make sure that we're in the key of A major. So if I were to play a scale without the Play Assist on, moving from A to A on all the white keys, which would be A minor, and then I turn the Play Assist on, and we have A major selected, playing the same exact scale. Great feature. I know they have this in Ableton too, that you can sort of route your MIDI in a way to stay in the proper key. But I like that that's also integrated right into the plugin. So no matter what DAW you're using, very, very easy to do. Yeah, let's actually turn that off before we move on. The Arpeggiator. This is a whole thing unto itself. The Arpeggiator. This is a whole thing onto itself. Basically allows you to create instant, rhythmic, and melodic patterns. You can draw in the velocity for each note in your pattern by using this graph, which is labeled the table. And you can choose the note length and rhythm right here, and also the different kinds of modes. So this stock comes on arpeggio mode. If we turn that on, let's increase the steps a little bit so we have more than 2 steps. Let's make it 5. Let's get weird. That's just me holding down one note. Let's hold down a C minor 7. Okay, so we kind of got a swing there. It's because this swing knob is all the way up. Lots to explore there. Haven't really dove into the Arpeggiator very much, but always an option. Very, very cool. Okay, let's get to the mixer section. This, I think, is going to be one of the most important things, especially from a production and mixing standpoint, because this is going to give you all of the mic control. So you can balance the different mics that they use to record the ensemble. So if we turn, let's start with a close mic here. Turn all these off, we have the close mic on. So let's listen to this, kind of how dry this sound is. Actually, let's even take that one step further, turn this reverb off. That is bone dry. Really perfect for a more intimate track. We can also try stage real quick. You can see as default, that one is panned to the left. Probably had a stage microphone that was on the left. Give it some width. Mid microphone. Very, very present sounding. Let's actually try that without stage on. Like that. And then this far microphone. Much more distant. So great thing about this is you can blend and pan these to your liking to get the exact sound that you're looking for. They've made it very, very easy to do so. You can also save and load your own presets. So if you create a balance you really like, you want to pull it up again in the future, Hyperion Strings Ensemble makes it very easy to do so. Okay, so that is about it for the actual interface. Before we hop out and explore some of the other sounds, I actually do just quickly want to play some of the staccatos for you because I love a good staccato. I think they sound really, really good in this library. Really nice sound to those, and also the pizzicatos sound phenomenal as well. Great sounding pizzicatos. All right, so this whole review we've been on the first violin's master multi-mic setting. I do want to take you guys over to the ensemble so you can hear that. As you can see, there are a couple to choose from: ensemble longs, shorts, and expressions. Let's go to longs. You could sit with me and watch how long these libraries take to load. That is one thing that I will note about this, and I'm running on a relatively new souped up computer, so big library. If you want to move fast, might not be the one for you, but worth the wait. Okay, so we are in. This is the entire ensemble altogether. So this is going to be the basses, the violas, the cellos, first violins and second violins, and they are all mapped out right down here on the keyboard, which is nice. So love the sound of all these together. I also love separating them more for production because I think you just get more flexibility with mixing. Really, really awesome sound. And just really quickly, that's a wonderful sounding bass right there. All right, Hans Zimmer in the house. Okay, so we kind of know what strings sound like. We have a good idea of what this library is going to sound like. So I don't want to play any more string presets, but one thing I do want to show you is this Ambiances. This is an especially useful instrument for any sound design purposes, any film scoring, or any maybe like experimental electronic music where you want to have some more organic pads. Soundiron basically recorded a bunch of ambiances, so I kind of just want to go through those, play those, so you guys can hear them and see what else this library is capable of beyond your basic string sounds. That sounds wonderful. One moves in slow. great for horror film scoring. Really cool. Wow. Okay. That might be one of the coolest sounds I've ever heard from a string library or a VST alone. I mean, that is just a massive ambient sound, super cool. I could absolutely see myself using that in like any film score. Really, at the end of the day, this is a huge library. It's endless. It would take weeks, if not months, to actually really explore and make full use of. I've, again, been using this for about a week, and I've just had so much fun playing around with it. Very, very easy to use. A lot of string libraries can be kind of overwhelming, or the interfaces, they can have really small texts and sort of like I don't know, hidden, like more cryptic sections that make them less user friendly. What I like about this is that not only is it super versatile, but it also is very, very user friendly, producer friendly, especially for anyone who's used to third party contact instruments. The fact that you can go in and change the mic positions to get a totally different sonic quality is a huge game changer for this library. And I think that's what makes it so versatile. So even if you're not into film scoring, even if you're not into making ambient music, orchestral music, classical music, what have you, this could just as easily fit into a modern pop production, rock production, you name it, with the right know-how. So yeah, would highly recommend checking this out. Hyperion Strings Ensemble, Soundiron, y'all did it. This is a really, really incredible library, and I can't wait to explore it more.